As EBRD, we have been financing in Kosovo for the last 20 years. We opened office 2012, so we are quite active here. So far, we financed 110 projects with a total amount of 700 million. These are projects basically in the three areas, we can summarize it. One is to SMEs, small and medium enterprises, through credit lines via commercial bonds. This is around 40% of our portfolio. Another 40% is about sustainable infrastructure, which is transport, roads, municipal infrastructure. And around 15–20% is direct financing to manufacturing services, agribusiness, and clients like retailers here. I think we have good cooperation with the government and especially with the private sector. So I'm impressed by private sector here. I saw many entrepreneurs and visited many companies, and I think really impressive how the private business is working here. And most of our projects, 70%, 80% is with the private sector in Kosovo. With the government, we have 1 or 2 projects every year, but we can do much more. And I think Kosovo needs much more, especially in infrastructure. And we are, as EBRD, happy to provide more money and technical assistance support to prepare and implement these projects. Indeed, in February this year, we signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Prime Minister in London. It was a Western Balkan Investment Summit, and we estimated our investment in the next 4 years around 400 million, mainly in infrastructure, which is energy, transport, and municipal infrastructure. So currently we are developing a couple of projects, Paduiva wastewater treatment plant and public buildings energy efficiency with Kosovo Energy Efficiency Fund. But the plan is to do more projects, and we can do much more. So approximately, if you divide 400 million by 400 million a year, we can realistically do here. And so far, these projects, 50 million together. So I think we have more projects to do here. We are talking about part of the memorandum behind this number. We have highways, we have also railways, we also have a project with, in an energy sector with KEK and with Kosovo Telecom, with many public-owned enterprises. And as EBRD, we can do much more, and we try to find a way to accelerate our cooperation with the government. No, we have several projects under implementation. One is a regional road project, which is access roads to Gilani, and which is in Ferizaj, which is progressing slowly, but there are some delays with the tender, but it was recently retendered, and we hope to see the road, at least for Ferizaj, to start next year. On the railway, we implemented a project with infrastrukturor for several years. It's around 50% implemented, but I think government and public-owned enterprises should prioritize this project to demonstrate progress in order to build more railways. So we are talking about south to north railway, but we can also help the government to build their own railway from east to west. And I think in general, my comment that public-owned enterprise and all beneficiaries here requires more support by the government, and we provide our support in form of consultants, but I think so-called project implementation units, project teams should be strengthened. There should be more professional people with a good market salaries, and that improve project management of these key projects. And I think in our view this is the main bottleneck. We have many success stories, and one of them is 2 wind farms. This is actually only 2 renewable energy projects implemented in Kosovo for last 40 years, and this Bajgora wind farm and Kitka wind farm. This is EBRD projects. We helped the government that time, 2017-18, to prepare legislation for these projects, and also we provided financing for these projects. These projects are already fully operational. So these are, we would like to do much more projects like this, and we do much more in Albania, for example. You know, in Albania, for the last 4 years, we managed to run tenders for 800 megawatt projects, and is EBRD, and we also provided financing for these projects. Here we see many private sector developers, foreign and local, who can do also, like in my estimate, 1,000 megawatts. So I met like 10 companies who are eager to develop projects, but they're still facing some difficulties with the permits, you know, different regulatory requirements. I think with some improvement in the regulations, we can see much more projects in Kosovo in renewable energy. Another successful projects, public buses in Pristina, which you can see these yellow buses on the streets. This is also EBRD project. This year we also plan to start implementation of another additional 30 buses for Pristina municipality to purchase 30 additional buses, including 6 electric buses. And we plan to replicate this program to other cities, Ferizaj, Jakova, and so on. We are currently doing pre-feasibility study with a plan to find a way to buy public buses for other large cities in Kosovo. As I mentioned, Kosovo has a good, ambitious energy strategy for the next 7 years left, and ambitious target to achieve renewable energy capacity. And as EBRD, we help to achieve this target by financing these 2 wind farms, which are substantial investment. By the way, these 2 wind farms brought 250 million euro foreign direct investments in the country. And so far, we kind of see a mixed success. So on the one hand, we see the government is trying to prepare launch auctions. It takes time, and we believe strongly in the private sector that by allowing a private sector, so improving the regulations and regulatory environment for private sector can deliver much more than through the auctions. Auction is good to kickstart the process and to show, to demonstrate to outside world that Kosovo is serious about it. There are some projects, there is some interest, especially this is needed to attract big names, famous companies to put Kosovo on the map for renewable energy. In this way, this will help the country to build more renewable energy projects. I think I already mentioned this, and wind farms together probably are the most successful and the largest. They were delivered by private sector, by foreign companies, when the regulatory framework in that time was feed-in tariff was very clear, and they came and built these power plants which are operational and supplying Kosovo with additional electricity, clean electricity, because this situation, as we see with the KEK polluting, Pristina, is not sustainable, and this is outdated power plant, and urgent steps are needed to add more capacity, more renewable energy capacity. Another very successful project which we are proud of is this, we supported KOST, grid operator, with additional money to build grid, electricity grid and substations to absorb more renewable energy in the system, and we are currently preparing a new project with them. I think this will be also another success. I think Kosovo has a really great future, great potential, which has to be delivered, and I think time is critical because opportunity costs are high. We see other countries, Albania, North Macedonia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, they're developing fast. We invest more in those countries, 3 times more, like North Macedonia and Bosnia and Herzegovina. And they are more or less similar economies, and I think Kosovo and the government should prioritize large projects, focus on 3-5 large projects and deliver. And in this case, when you build a number of key infrastructure projects, this will open more opportunities for foreign direct investors and for foreign investors to come here. And I think the potential will be realized. Otherwise, there will be only discussion about the potential, but we as a bank and all investors treat the country by results. And this is what we would like to see more.